It always does that to me. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to have you all here tonight. I'm Sharissa. I've tried to introduce myself personally to each one of you, so I hope that we've gotten to make a connection. I've seen some of you in the store before, so that's great. Happy to have you back. So tonight is all about Whole30. What is the Whole30? How do you do a Whole30? What foods are in? What foods are out? What the spirit, all of it. The whole, I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can. Try to take my brain and put it in your brain. That's my whole purpose. I just want to share as much information as I can with you. So first I like to start with a little bit of background. Who am I? Why am I doing this? And why did I even get started in this program? So first of all, you're all here for a reason, right? I mean, there's got to be some purpose for you being here. Either it's, want to lose weight, or you want more energy, or you're tired feeling tired, or you get headaches, or maybe you don't even have any problems that you know of. I get clients all the time that tell me, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm perfectly fine, I never have any of these issues. And then I say like, well, do you get tired after you eat lunch? Yeah, every day. Well, that's a problem. Would you wake up feeling energized? Like, oh, I slept last night, I feel so good. No, I wake up tired. Well, that's a problem. Do you sleep 8 hours every night without waking up in the middle of the night to go pee or whatever? If you're not doing that, that's a problem. So these are things we maybe just don't even understand that we're addressing these with changing those dietary habits. So we're going to be addressing all of those issues, and the Whole30 really is a really great way to kind of encompass all of that stuff. So I want you to think of the Whole30 as something totally different from any other diet plan. The Whole30 is not in any way considered a diet, and it's not like a crash course, it's not a crash diet, none of those things. So I have written on my list things like, have you tried the South Beach diet or a shake diet? There's a lot of good ones out right now, like, and I mean good, like they'll get you. Beachbody, Isogenics, Weight Watchers, all the shake meal replacement things. This is the Whole30. They've actually come out and said we are 100% against any of those things. We want to teach you how to eat food and do something that's perfectly sustainable. So is it sustainable for you to buy a package of shake mix for $400 a month every month for the rest of your life? Is that sustainable? Like, are you going to do that forever? Are you going to live every single day, I'm never going to eat breakfast again, I'm going to drink this meal replacement every day? No, because on Saturday when your girlfriend calls you and says, hey, I want to go out for brunch, and I'm going to have this big old waffle, okay, you just undid all your shake doing, right? Not to mention the shake is full of a bunch of processed material anyways. So let's learn how to eat real foods. So Whole30 by definition is whole foods for 30 days. And it's an elimination type diet where you take out the bad stuff, add in a bunch of really awesome good stuff, and you heal in the process. And it's about changing your lifestyle, changing your habits, changing your relationship with food, not about finding something that's going to work for a week or 2 weeks or a month and then you gain all the weight back, right? That's not what this is about. Okay, so a little bit about traditional medicine. Why do we do an elimination diet, and why is an elimination diet so important? Anybody ever heard of an elimination diet before? So an elimination diet is taking out foods that are offensive to our body and adding in foods that are really good for you so that you can strengthen and figure out what exactly is going on with you. So the traditional medicine way of doing this, and I have clients who come to me all the time and they say, Sharissa, there's something going on with my stomach, I get this pain after I eat, I have this gas, I have this bloating, I have this whatever, and I don't know what it is. So they go in and they get allergy testing done. Anybody done allergy testing before? I did allergy testing too, and you get this long list, right, of you're allergic to like bananas and avocado and string cheese, and you're like, what? I don't even eat any of the, like, what do you, like, what? You're allergic to cinnamon. Okay, I've never had a problem with cinnamon before, but apparently I'm allergic to it. So that is the Western medicine answer for what you're allergic to. What those tests are actually testing is what food materials your blood is reacting to. So are there food particles in your blood? Are there supposed to be food particles in your blood? No, that is not appropriate. So if there's cinnamon in your blood, how did it get in your blood? This is crazy. How did the food get into the blood, into that point in the first place that you could even react to it? It shouldn't have gotten there. What happens is our gut gets decomposed, it gets messed up, it gets all broken down. All this damage that occurs and holes get in our digestive system. It's called leaky gut. Your gut is leaking out, and all of those bad particles get into your bloodstream. And then you start having problems, and then you'll get your allergy test done, and that allergy test is a really expensive food diary. This is what's in your blood. Well, doc, nothing should be in my blood. What's wrong with my guts? Okay, so an elimination diet, what it does is it takes all the foods out that cause that damage to your gut in the first place. Things like dairy and grains and sugar, which cause the holes in the first place, it takes them out. And it gives your body 30 days to heal, to regenerate, to regrow that lining in your intestines and seal it all up nice and tight and keep everything where it's supposed to go, in the southern direction and not out into your bloodstream, right? So the elimination diet takes out all those bad foods, heals the gut, and then when you stop the whole30, when the whole30 is done, what we do is we go through a reintroduction process where you very gently, very slowly bring some of these foods back. Maybe you really miss, you want a piece of cheese on your sandwich or something like that. So you bring it in real slow and you see exactly how your body reacts to each food. Because once you've given your body a chance to heal, then you can see right away, oh shoot, I actually have a dairy allergy. One of my best friends, she has all kinds of horrible, horrible problems. I love her so much, and I begged her, please do a whole30. Let me help. She had ulcers in her stomach that would act up. She's 30 years old and doesn't sleep. Nothing. 3-4 hours a night. What is wrong with me? So she does a whole30, and she calls me the other night, and she says, Sharissa, I cheated on the whole30. I had a real cookie. And I said, what happened? And she said, I threw up worse than I've ever thrown up in my entire life. I've never felt more horrible. She has a terrible, terrible gluten allergy. She had an anaphylactic reaction to a piece of bread. Her ears blew up, tongue swelled, throat swelled, lymph nodes. She got a sty the next day in her eye. Her skin broke out in a horrible rash. She had a real allergy to gluten. Like a real one. But because she had been doing all of these things, perpetuating the problem the whole time, we get used to feeling like crap. We get used to feeling like, oh man, I have this drag period from 3 to 5 every day, and it's just normal for me. Well, it's not normal. It's not supposed to happen like that. Your body knows exactly how to wake up in the morning, have energy for all the things you need to do all day long, and it knows how to go to sleep at night and how to wake up feeling energized. We have screwed it up. We've screwed up the body's program. And the whole30 is like a reset. Like, get me back to what I'm supposed to be doing. What am I supposed to do? Okay, so that is what an elimination diet actually does. It bypasses that whole allergy test. It bypasses that whole process of, what am I allergic to? You go to get the doctor, you get that big old long list, and you try to cut all those things out because the doctor said you're allergic to cinnamon and raisins and walnuts or whatever it is, and you cut all that out and you still have all the problems. Well, now what? Now you do an elimination diet and you find out really what your body's reacting to, and you've given it an opportunity to heal a little bit. So that's what an elimination diet does. Okay, so a little bit about me, and feel free at any point to stop me, ask questions. I tend to talk really quickly. This is my normal pace. I think faster than I can talk, and so it tries to come out real quick. So slow me down, stop me, ask me questions, ask any clarifications if you have anything at any time. I'm happy to do that. So the next thing I want to move into is a little bit about my story, who I am. How did I get to this point in my life? So I'm a psychologist. I'm an experimental psychologist, and my master's degree is in experimental psychology with an emphasis in my undergraduate and my graduate thesis were both in nutrition understanding. So how much do we understand about nutrition? And even though we understand these things, kind of why we do what we do anyway. So that was what my education and my research has been in. I went into psychology because when I was 11 years old, my mom got sick. She got really sick. She was in bed for about 2 years. She's been sick the rest of my life. So from the time I was 11 years old until she still has issues, but we'll get to that point. So I'm 11 years old. My mom is married to this total can't do anything for himself. He doesn't like to take out the trash. He can't get his nails dirty. He can't do anything. Doesn't even know how to do his own laundry. I have 2 little sisters, and my mom is dying, basically. She's 97 pounds. She can't get out of bed. She can't move. She has she had a hernia, a hiatal hernia, and ulcerative colitis. So if she wasn't throwing it up, it was coming out the other way. She couldn't leave the house. She never even left her room. I couldn't see, like if I wanted to go in and see her, she had no patience because she was in pain. She was in so much pain. She got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. That's what the doctors tell you, right? If they can't figure out what's wrong with you, you have fibromyalgia. So here I am, 11 years old, and I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad, and I have 2 little sisters to take care of. So I stopped going to school. I stopped doing all the things that I needed to do to be a kid. I no longer was a kid. I took care of my mom, made sure she had everything she needed, made sure my stepdad had his protein shake in the morning, okay, because he was a bodybuilder, princess bodybuilder. And I had 2 little sisters. My baby sister was 3, and my middle sister was 8 and a half, 9. They had to go to school. They had to have clean clothes, and they had to have food every day. That was my priority. That's what I did. So everything changed for them, to take care of them. I left my mom when I was 17. I got out of the house. I had to go. And I thought, I need to go and I need to be a psychologist. I need to study, I need to be a child psychologist, and I need to make sure I help all the kids who had parents or didn't have parents so that they could make sure that they were always going to be okay. I'm going to build the kids up. I'm going to go be a school psychologist, and I'm going to help them, and I'm always going to do whatever I can to build up the kids. Then I got my master's degree, and I graduated, and I got sick. And I was in bed for 2 years. Because I had celiac disease and Hashimoto's that went undiagnosed my life. Called my mom, and I said, Mom, you have celiac disease, go get tested. My mom cut out gluten, and my mom has a normal life. She lost 20 years of her life, pain medication, all the medications that the doctors want to put you on for everything. There's a symptom and there's a side effect. So 15 different pain medications every single day, and I lost my childhood. She lost the ability to have a childhood with her kids. She didn't get to be with her kids, right? She lost my baby sister's whole life and most of mine. And now she lives this awesome life. She lives down in Mexico. She's living it up. She lives on the beach. She's happy. She doesn't eat gluten. She has a great life. So I decided at that point in my life when I was in bed and telling my kids the same thing my mom said to me, I can't play today. I'm too tired. I don't feel good. I don't have enough energy to be a mom. Now I was right back in the place that I never, ever, ever, ever wanted to be. And I was that person. So at that point in my life, I changed everything. I no longer want to help the kids. I want to help the moms. There should never be a sick mom. If we didn't have the sick moms going through the medical system, going through the pain medication and the drugs and the whatever, we don't have the problem with the kids, right? So I was wrong in thinking that I needed to help the kids, and I had to get sick myself to understand where I needed to go with my life. What I did to take care of myself is I cut out all the bad things. I did the elimination diet, and I'm standing here today. Because this is a big deal for me, right? This is a big deal for me to be standing up. 2 years ago, I couldn't be out of bed more than 2 hours at a time. I was not upright more than 2 hours at a time. By 6 p.m., I was done. Mentally, physically, I lost my brain. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything for myself. And I had babies. A baby, and a 2.5-year-old. 6 months and 2.5 years old. Mommy, play with me. I'm sorry I can't get out of bed today. I don't feel good. I'm really super grateful that I had those 2 little sisters, and they took care of me and took care of my babies. And I have a most amazing, supportive husband who made sure I always ate. Because that was the big problem, right? If you cut out all your food, what are you eating if you can't feed yourself? So this is how I found how to be healthy. And when I was able to fix and reverse my own autoimmune diseases, I have 4. I have endometriosis, interstitial cystitis, celiac disease, and Hashimoto's thyroid disease. I went to the doctor and got all these diagnoses. It took me 6 months to get a full, this is everything that's wrong with you. And I went back 6 months later to have my blood work taken after my elimination diet, after living and eating the way that I eat. I reversed my autoimmune diseases, and I started healing. So when they tell you, you have autoimmune disease, you'll always have autoimmune disease, here's the medication that you'll be on for the rest of your life, I call BS. Because I already started the healing process. I'm already back to a human being living the life that I should have been living the whole time. But I had to go through it to find my purpose in life. And I had to figure out now, okay, now I have this passion, now I have this unbelievable drive to make sure nobody else gets sick. And if you are, let me fix it. So I'm a nutritionist. I went through, got certified. I have that 12 years of education, have my master's degree in psychology with the nutrition emphasis, and now I'm also certified to do what I do. But that's why I do these classes, because I really want to spread the word that we don't have to be sick, that we don't have to feel like crap all the time. And having the headaches in the middle of the day, and not sleeping, and not having energy, and not being able to lose weight, none of those things are normal. And I get patients, older patients all the time who said, oh, that's just, my doctor just told me that's a normal part of getting older. Once you hit this age, you're going to start gaining weight. You're going to get more tired. You're going to lose this, and your hair is going to fall out, and you're going to be gray, and you're going to have this and all these things. These are normal. No, it's not. No, it's not. Look at what happened to our great-grandparents. Did any of those negative, horrible things happen to them? No, because it wasn't normal. What happened is we changed the way we eat, and our body didn't like it, and we kept trying to push it in that direction, and the things that we decided to come up as a solution for that were pain medication, and more prescriptions. Let me give you, they want to give me, because I have autoimmune diseases, let me give you something that suppresses your immune system. That's my answer for you. Okay, so now someone comes across and they sneeze on me and I die from the flu because I have no immune system. That's what they told my mom. They put her on this medication. She has rheumatoid arthritis also. Once you have one autoimmune disease, you can very easily get more. She also has RA, so they wanted to put her on methotrexate, and they told her, do not be around your grandkids if they're sick. Do not go to public places. Do not go to a hospital. Do not go into a doctor's office if somebody else has been in there with a cold, because you will not be able to get past it. That one thing will destroy you. But don't worry, it's going to take your rheumatoid arthritis symptoms away. Right? Oh, we'll just give you something else for the other things. So what I'm telling you is all that is total BS. Let's fix it on the back end. Let's heal. Let's not rely on any medications. Let's get rid of the, medicine cabinet that wasn't meant for medicine. It was meant for your razor and your toothbrush. It wasn't meant to be full of prescription pills. So let's get back to that. Okay, so what is a whole30? A whole30, like I said before, it's meant to be a challenge in the sense that it's whole foods for 30 days and challenging you to change your mindset and change how you think about food and change your relationship with it. We don't want to have that midnight snack on the couch with ice cream or whatever. We're changing all of it. It's not just change what's on your plate, it's change how many times you see the plate a day and how many things that you're putting on it, right? We got to change the whole thing, the whole picture. So the whole30 comes with, there's an eating plan, there's also a personal challenge, and then what I'm going to tell you tonight is what you can eat and what you can't eat on the whole30 and how to do the whole30. This month, because it's April and because I just need a mental reset, I'm also doing a mindset challenge where you can read about it on my page, on my Facebook page. Totally up to you to do. That information's all there, but it's about giving yourself 30 minutes every day to kind of keep that go with the mindset too. The whole30 is not just food, it's the whole picture. Change the way you think about things, change your sleep, change your everything. I have a really special guest here tonight. She's a yoga instructor, Carrie. She's going to talk to you about how important it is not just for you to be eating a right way, but also how to move properly, how to breathe properly. Breathing is one of our #1 detoxification processes. So we're breathing out the toxins, getting our body clean and bringing in fresh oxygen. And sometimes, as we in American society, we're very shallow. Carrie will tell you this. We don't know how to breathe anymore. We need that step. We need that direction. And Carrie's a master at this, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about that today too. So what are you going to get? What can you expect from a whole30? What's the point of doing this besides just being healthy, finding out what's good for you, doing something so amazing for your body that you can never even look back from this? It'll change everything about the way you think about things. It's also going to change your relationship with food. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to look amazing. You're going to sleep amazing. You're going to go through a detox process. This happens to people all different times and sometimes more than once. So that friend of mine that I told you about that had that really bad reaction to gluten, she had 2 bad detoxes. One came out in her skin at about week 1, and then the next one came out in her belly. She had like really bad bloating, and that came out at day like 13, 14. So that happens too. What's the reason that we go through the bloating and all of that is because our gut bacteria is changing, and they put up a fight. They don't want to go. All that bad stuff that wants to stay in your gut, it wants to stay there. It's going to try to hold on for a dear life. Like, don't get rid of me. I want to stay here. This is such a great environment. You eat cake and cookies and ice cream, and I want to stay here and live here and be awesome, and now you're starving me to death, and I'm leaving, and it blows up, and you get gassy and pressure and pain, and a little bit of that comes up too. So everybody's detox symptoms are a little different. What I try to tell people as encouragement, more than anything, is if you stick to eating clean for the rest of your life, you never have to go through this again. If you go back and eat standard American diet and want to do another Whole30, you're going to go through the same process. But if you go through it one time and stick with what you're doing and stick with what you know now, you won't have those problems anymore. Okay, so I have a lot more to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you about what's on your plate, what's not on your plate, and why exactly we're taking each food off. So I'll go through exactly the science behind each one. But at this point, I want to turn it over to Carrie and let her tell you a little bit about yoga, breathing, and why movement is so important. So I'll let Carrie go right now, and then I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, I'm Carrie. I saw a few of you guys before. Thanks for coming. So I just have some few facts for you guys. First, so as Americans, regularly when you're on the standard American diet, you're shallow. Your breathing stops here, but your breathing is supposed to go fully into your belly. I don't know if you guys have ever sat to watch a baby breathe, but babies, their belly rises and falls, and that's how we're actually supposed to breathe. So I don't know if you guys want to take a second and just focus on where you're breathing, like you're stopping, right? If you just let it go and fill your belly, it changes, and the oxygen actually changes, and how the neurotransmitters and everything go through your whole body changes completely, even to as far as your hormonal imbalance. So it's pretty crazy, right? Right. We should be wearing yoga pants or skirts, right? Okay, so yoga and the Whole30 is all about honoring your body and what you put in your body. So if you're eating healthy foods, you are worshiping yourself, you're honoring yourself, and if you're in a physical activity and doing physical activity, you're honoring yourself and changing the way your body functions. So it's awesome. So yoga and the Whole30 is going to cleanse your body completely, and the hormones. So who in here has ever struggled with hot flashes or headaches? Okay, so there is a new study that was put out by BU recently, Boston University, that yoga actually helps with hot flashes and headaches 31% more than any medicine you could take. So just by doing basic movements and poses, it actually compresses your organs and different glands, and the secretions that come out of that is better than any hormonal therapy that you could be on while you're clean eating in this program. So pretty awesome. So Whole30 is about changing your thoughts and changing the way that you see food and the way that you pretty much do your whole lifestyle, right? And yoga is a great place for that. It changes your mentality, it changes the way that you think and see and do everything. So being in yoga along with Whole30 is going to help you process things a lot more. I don't know if people, if it's going to be hard for you to give up your wine, for your 30 days, but yoga for 30 minutes a day is going to change your mindset and make that a lot easier for you to be able to do.
It worked for me. I'm 1 year now.
Yay!
March 21st was my 1 year anniversary of finishing my Whole30 and changing my bad habit of, oh look, I'm chopping garlic, I gotta have a glass of wine, to breathing and
So amazing.
and doing yoga for 30 minutes.
So amazing. Okay, so some symptoms that we all deal with, men and women. So all of us, as Trissa said, turn to big pharma and regular pills and medicine to help us through certain things. So just some symptoms that people have had success with just adding yoga and breathing to their life. They've had more success with that versus pills and other interventions. Headaches, skin problems, joint pains, hair loss, insomnia, fatigue, low sex drive, mood disorders, weight gain, accelerated aging is one. Accelerated aging is not something that we should, have to have a problem with. And yoga, breathing, and everything changes all of that. So, yoga poses pressurize and decompress, like I said, and that changes your hormonal secretions. And whenever you guys change your eating habits, and add all of these different foods and take away the bad foods, your DNA and your hormones are going to change regardless you want them to or not. And yoga just speeds that up and makes it better and adds more of a benefit. And so, yeah, that's all I have. I have a studio. Those are my fun facts. But so I am a yoga instructor downtown Marietta. I have my own studio on the corner of Ivy and Adams, and I host a lot of different classes there, 5 days a week, and I add some classes if people want them. So it's really on a sign-up basis. I don't have a schedule for you guys. I'll have you guys fill out some information for me before you guys go on a sign-up sheet, and then I'll be in touch. And then you guys can sign up for classes however you want, when you want. I offer with Sharissa, if you guys sign up for her with the whole30, I offer a $75 for unlimited classes for the month if you sign up with Sharissa too. And then if not, then it's just $100 for your first month for unlimited classes. And to get you guys started in your whole health journey. And I'm excited you guys all came, and it was awesome to meet you.
Thank you, Carrie. Okay, so Carrie is amazing. I've had the privilege of taking a private instruction class with her before. I called her up and said, like, I've got these gnarly headaches. I don't know what's going on. It's, for me, emotionally driven. So I asked her to come to my house. She does private lessons. She has a different price for that. And then she actually wrote a yoga flow for me that I could do in the mornings to help with, like, the headaches, the emotions, all of that, so I could start my day out with, like, kind of releasing all of that before going down and dealing with life, right? Life as we know it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm back. All right, so I want to tell you guys what we're taking out of the whole30. When we do a whole30, what foods come out? And I want to address each one of them individually, but I'll give you the list. So we're taking out alcohol.
Wine.
Alcohol. I'm not taking your coffee though. So like, if I get any benefit of the doubt, I didn't take your coffee, right? Like that's good. People call me, but do I not have to, like, I can't have coffee? I'm like, no, you can totally have coffee. I'm not taking your coffee. Okay, alcohol, sugar, all forms of sugar. That includes maple syrup, honey, all sugar. Grains, all the grains. Say that again? Good question. The question is, can we eat stevia or xylitol? The answer is no sugar at all. The reason is we're changing your taste buds. We're changing everything. Your taste buds take 2 weeks. We're changing everything. You're fighting the cravings. We're changing the neural pathways in your brain called neuroplasticity. We're changing the pathways so that your body doesn't crave sugar in the same way anymore. Your sugar cravings after this month will come out into like fat cravings, and we'll talk about that. So no sugar at all. It takes 2 weeks for your taste buds to change. So if you've adapted, you go to get the coffee shop and you get, I had a client yesterday said she goes to Starbucks, she gets the iced coffee from Starbucks. I'm not going to change her coffee habits, but she told me I forgot to tell them no sugar. They put 4 pumps of sweetener in her little, iced coffee, and she said, like, that was her norm, and she was like, I almost threw up. Because your taste buds only take about 2 weeks to change. By the time you switch them over, you will be, like, the taste of the sweet sugar, those kind of sugars, it'll taste like chemicals. Because that cane sugar, that white, nasty cane sugar that we're eating in everything, will taste like chemicals to you. So when we get past this whole30 and you start incorporating some baked goods and that kind of stuff, you'll switch over to some amazing, amazing things. Pia has so many great options here in the store. We have the coconut sugar, we have the date syrup, which is a good, like really sweet. We make we're working on a chocolate chip cookie recipe that has coconut sugar and date sugar. Oh my gosh, it is so phenomenal. Not whole30, but totally paleo, totally clean, super amazing. When you get past this process, it tastes like a chocolate chip cookie, like a real chocolate chip cookie. So we'll get there. But it changes your taste buds. It's changing everything. It's changing the neural pathways. Most importantly, more than the taste buds, more than your brain, more than anything else, it's changing your gut bacteria. Right? So we've got one brain here, one brain here. This brain wants the sugar because it's got all that nasty bad bugs in it, and it's got most likely an overgrowth of the bad, not enough good. When you cut the sugar, it kills the bad, it starves the bad. They don't want it anymore. Then you look at a piece of cake or you look at a cookie and you're like, I'm okay. They come around with a dessert cart after dinner and you're like, I don't really want anything. You'll be satisfied. How amazing would that be? It happens to me now and I'm like, I am the person who would not share a dessert. I told Pia the other day, she's got these ice cream sandwiches, and she said, are you bringing them camping with you? And I said, no, I'm not bringing them camping with me. I would have to share it with my family. Who do you think I am? Have we met? Hi, I'm Charissa. I don't share desserts. Get your own. My husband's like, I'll just get a spoon and we can share your creme brulee. No, we cannot. You will get your own. If you even want one bite, you will pay for it. I do not share. But now they walk by with a dessert cart and I'm like, I don't even feel the need for it. Listen to the ice cream sandwiches. Alcohol, grains, legumes. This includes nuts, soy, soy and peanuts. Soy is also out. And peanuts, which I'll circle back through them when I get through the legumes. So no like black beans, no garbanzo beans, and no peanuts. Peanuts are actually a nut legume. They're not a nut. I don't know why they got classified that way. Milk, cheese, yogurt, all dairy products. Even raw. And when you're done with the Whole30, what's that? All dairy. And I'll explain why, I promise. No dairy, none. Not any kind of dairy. And I promise to explain why.
No black beans and no what did you say?
Garbanzo beans. I don't know, I was just trying to think
My
of...
husband said even 22 and old age cheese.
No cheese. No cheese. I promise I'll explain why. Also, we're taking out, so we said dairy, all dairy products, and then we're going to avoid seed oils. So peanut oil, soybean oil, corn. I don't know if you know this, but corn is actually a grain, not a vegetable. So corn is out on the grain category. We'll talk about that.
Avocado oil?
Avocado oil is awesome. We'll talk about the good fats that are allowed. Olive oil is awesome. We'll talk about that, I promise. Canola oil is out, and I mean out forever. Like, don't bring it back. Canola oil. No sunflower oil, no safflower oil, no sesame, no flax, and no grapeseed.
So just avocado and oil and
Avocado,
olive oil.
coconut,
Or coconut.
olive oil. I mean, there's so many better options. Ghee.
I'm sure you're going to come to this.
Yeah.
But this is more in lines with your There's a lot of important things about Whole30. So
Right.
one is you can do vegetable oil without the
If okay, so what P is saying is the Whole30, the franchise themselves, they've come out and said, if you're at a restaurant and you're eating something and it has oil on it, do the best that you can. In my opinion, don't go to the places that serve canola oil. Go to the places that are clean. Go to Eat Market. Go to Bushfire Grill. Go to the places that you know aren't using the cheap crap in your good food. If you gotta do it,
Even those supposedly clean places don't always use it.
I agree with that. So make sure you're asking those questions. And you can ask them to do it naked. So if you're getting a piece of chicken, say naked. Salt and pepper, garlic, that kind of stuff. But if you ask them not to put anything on it, they won't cook it in the oil. Most places, I went to, my favorite place to eat used to be Fish House Veracruz. You guys ever been to Fish House?
Yeah.
I love Fish House, okay? Super amazing food. I ate there after all this stuff had gone down and I finally was getting better. I was super like starting to feel healthy, starting to get my life back. I ate there. I had red snapper. I was really like clean, like really good about my choices that I made. I had the steamed broccoli. I had the steamed vegetables. I had a salad with oil and vinegar. And I like within 15 minutes started feeling so sick. And I was like, why am I feeling so messed up? They do this on a grill. It's just a little bit of paprika. What could possibly have gone wrong? I'm walking out and they have the grills open. You know how you can see through the windows, they've got the grills. They're pouring canola oil over every single piece of fish. How insane. Just don't do it. Just leave it dry. So ask them, make sure you say to the waiter, waitress, leave it off. Make it naked. Leave it dry. But the Whole30 franchise, if you read the book, if you read their website, they will tell you, if you go to a restaurant, do the best that you can, never cook with it, don't buy these things. But if there's a little bit of canola oil in your food at the restaurant, I mean, it's not like you got to start all over. The other thing I guess I should mention real briefly is if you do decide, like, I'm going to do a Whole30, and then you go to a party and you're like, oh, one little piece of cake isn't going to hurt anything, you have to start your Whole30 over. Whole30 is whole foods for 30 days, not Whole Foods Monday through Friday. Right? So if you, is it worth it? You got to start from scratch come tomorrow. It starts all over again.
And you got to plan when you're going to start.
Exactly. So don't do it. Don't cheat. Call me. Say, Charissa, I want this piece of cake. What do I do? And we'll work it out. Let me help you. Let me be your accountability buddy. Okay? All right. So let's go through why we take all these things out. And stop me, ask me questions if you're confused about anything or you're like, I don't want to take that out. Why do I have to do that? I'll help you clarify a little bit more. So real briefly though, alcohol. We take alcohol out for so many reasons. One of the reasons is that it makes it very difficult for your body to regulate its blood sugar. So one of the things that we're doing while we're doing a Whole30 is we're normalizing your blood sugar. We're making it so you don't have these tremendous spikes and drops so that you feel good all the time. So the Whole30 takes out alcohol because it makes it really difficult to regulate blood sugar. Alcohol turns into sugar in your body immediately. It doesn't need any breaking down. Everything that we eat turns into sugar. Every single thing we eat turns into glucose. That glucose gets delivered where it needs to go, and the only difference between the different foods that we eat is how fast it turns into glucose. Alcohol doesn't need any time, it does it right away. So it hits your blood sugar, spikes, your pancreas has to work overdrive, produce more insulin. The insulin is supposed to drive the blood sugar to the cells when it needs it, but what are we doing when we're drinking the glass of wine and now we're watching TV, drinking a glass of wine, eating our popcorn, watching a movie? Are we burning any energy? No, we're not. So if that blood sugar goes into the body and the insulin is spiked, that insulin doesn't have anywhere to go. It's not getting driven into the cells. So what ends up happening is that blood sugar spike, the insulin spike, gets stored in your fat cells. Fat doesn't make you fat, sugar makes you fat. The reason sugar makes you fat is because insulin left over in your body becomes toxic. Your body doesn't know how to get rid of the toxins. So in order to protect itself, it creates fat cells, and it goes in, stores in the fat cells to protect itself. Excess insulin, excess blood sugar, without using it, that's what makes you fat. And that's why when we lose the fat, we get toxic, we feel sick, we have detox symptoms. Because you're getting all of the toxins out of your fat cells. That came from storing the insulin. So we take alcohol out because it makes it difficult to regulate your blood sugar. We don't want those spikes in insulin. We don't ever want your blood sugar to spike without stabilizing it first. It also causes inflammation in your gut. When you have inflammation in your gut, it's very easy for that inflammation to travel throughout your body. When you have inflammation in your joints, when you have inflammation in your nerves, that's when you get tingly feelings in your hands. Carpal tunnel syndrome, that's inflammation in your wrists. Any kind of inflammation in your neck's going to send it down through the rest of your body. I had inflammation so bad in my body I lost use of my feet. I was walking up the stairs holding my baby and lost my feet. It's terrifying. We got to keep the inflammation down. So that's what it does. Taking out the alcohol cuts the inflammation, helps to regulate your blood sugar, so it's got to go. Grains, including corn, again, promote inflammation. And grains like gluten, oh my god, gluten. So funny, I say it like 15 times a day and I can't say it right. Gluten and fermentable carbohydrates promote an imbalance in the gut flora. So if we're eating a lot of the grains, they're feeding the wrong bacteria. If we're feeding the wrong bacteria, we get that imbalance, and instead of having that nice lining of good bacteria around your entire digestional system, we flip it. So we have bad bacteria more, good bacteria less, and it can't fight things like parasites and infections and inflammation and that leaky gut, that permeability. So when we cut the grains, we cut that inflammatory process, we give the body a chance to heal a little bit, and we're killing some of the bad bacteria by starving them. Okay, what else? Crosses the blood, gets access to things like, if you have the inflammation in your gut, you're going to have inflammation everywhere. It can cross into your lungs, you get asthma. Crosses into your skin, you get eczema, psoriasis. Crosses across the blood-brain barrier, you get migraines, headaches, fertility issues, joint pain. Inflammation in your joints is so easy to reverse. I tell people, it's like, oh, my hands are like so hard, I can't do any of these things, and they're on these medications to help fight the inflammation, and I say, like, take turmeric, change your diet, get rid of the inflammation just by cutting back on the things that you can do without any drugs going in. Let's fix you, not Band-Aid, right? Okay, the most important thing about cutting out the grains is because grains contain phytates and phytic acid, which are anti-nutrients. So an anti-nutrient, what it does is it blocks absorption of the nutrients. Anytime you're adding anything that has an anti-nutrient in, you're not going to absorb the minerals that you need. So here's the most ironic thing ever, right? People tell me, where am I going to get my fiber from? I get this question all the time. Where am I going to get my fiber from if I'm not eating my whole wheat bread? Okay, this is a big loaded question, right? Because the fact of the matter is the whole wheat bread is full of the anti-nutrients that are blocking absorption anyways. So it doesn't matter what they fortify it with or what they load into it, you're not getting any of it anyways, and instead you're just getting a bunch of inflammation. So eat some vegetables, get your fiber from the sources that actually have fiber that are absorbable, and don't get the inflammation. So we're getting rid of those anti-nutrients, blocking those minerals. Okay, and there's nothing really useful in grains anyways, so it's not like you really need them. That whole food pyramid, 11 servings of grains a day, is so that we eat the grains that they're growing because we're subsidizing their farmers to grow the grains. They got to justify it somehow. So let me tell you, eat 9 to 11 servings of pasta every day. That'll make you healthy, right? Healthy, happy. No, you don't need it. There's no nutrients available. And the ones that are in the bread, the things that are fortified, in the pasta, in the grains, in everything, because of the anti-nutrients, you're not getting them anyways. So there's no benefit. Okay, legumes, including soy and peanuts, and the beans, which are they're very similar in the process that grains are. So we're still getting those anti-nutrients, we're getting the phytates, we're getting the phytic acid, we're getting the inflammation. And the interesting thing about beans and corn, you ever notice corn comes out exactly the same way it went in?
Yeah.
Beans are the same, they're just darker so you don't notice. I swear, every time I would eat corn, I'd think, but I chewed it. Like, how did it come out whole if I chewed? It doesn't make any sense. It's like it found the other part and, reconnected itself to come out whole. If it's coming out whole, what did you get from it? Nothing. But our small intestine, our large intestine weren't meant to process particles that size. So what we got from it was a lot of inflammation, a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, and a lot of residual problems. You didn't get any nutrients because it came out the same way it went in, if not bigger. Right? I feel like it comes out more. It's like, I chewed, I swear I chewed. Mom's like, chew your food. And I'm like, I did. It still comes out whole. So beans are the same family, same thing. They do the same thing that corn does. They don't give you any nutrients. I get a lot of my friends, vegetarian people, tell me that a black bean is a whole protein. And it is. If you're a scientist in a lab and you pull out all the amino acids, it is. It's a complete protein for the species that was meant to eat the food. We are not it. We don't break it down. We can't process it unless you're eating and preparing the foods properly. My guess is you're not, but are any of you eating beans that you soaked overnight and sprouted before you cooked them? No. And unless you're doing that, you're not getting anything from it. It's got to be alive. If you sprout the grain, if you soak it overnight, you open it up and you allow the human consumption to have bioavailability. If you're not doing that, you're not getting anything from it. So if you want to eat the beans when we're done with the whole30, go for it. Just do it the right way. You got to prepare them correctly, and I can teach you how to do that. Okay, Soy. Soy. Mixed reviews about soy, right? I feel like some people say like, oh, soy's totally fine. Some people say like, oh, soy's horrible for you. I'm going to give you the facts. Soy creates estrogen in your body. As a society as a whole, we are naturally estrogen dominant. We breathe, live in a stressful environment that naturally promotes estrogen. We don't have to do anything to have an excess amount of estrogen in our bodies. But having too much estrogen blocks progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone work on the same tug of war. If you have too much estrogen, it doesn't allow the progesterone to go into the receptor sites of the cells. Estrogen blocks it. It eliminates your body's ability to produce the amount of progesterone that it needs. Also, too much estrogen means high cortisol. Too much estrogen means no testosterone. We all need the testosterone, right? If we have too much estrogen, we can't produce the testosterone. We have really high cortisol. The cortisol does the same thing that insulin does in our body. If it lasts too long, it becomes toxic and gets stored in our fat cells. And estrogen is the reason that happens. We all need estrogen. You have to have it. We got to have all these hormones, but they have to work together. They have to work in unison. When we do things that create more estrogen in our bodies, we're blocking that hormone balance. So the reason that whole30 takes estrogen or takes soy out is because certain forms of soy, like flax, soybeans, tofu, they're what's called phytoestrogens, which is one of the most dangerous kind because it tells your body to make more estrogen. Please. Flax seeds. Flax seeds are a higher phytoestrogen than soy. Quick anecdote here. My mother-in-law has, she was, I think maybe it must have been like 11 years ago, her and like their whole family went and backpacked around Europe for 3 weeks. So she carried one of those suitcases and she did this for 3 weeks, like kind of behind her, holding back. She was also working for a large development company, a construction development company, and he was going through a divorce, and so she was doing a lot of like moving boxes like this. And what ended up happening to her, she got what's called frozen shoulder. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
So she couldn't, when I met her, she couldn't lift her arm more than this. She couldn't, like physically, she couldn't move it more than that. She went to chiropractors, acupuncture. She did the cupping method. She did Pilates. She tried yoga. She did like laser treatments. She did all kinds of things. Some things worked. Some things helped, but she would still get this residual pain. And she kind of like she got to like here, but she couldn't do this. I always wanted to take a yoga class with her because she's like I thought that would really help her. She couldn't do the poses. I do muscle testing, so like test your muscle strength. It's applied kinesiology to tell you whether or not you can have certain things. And when I couldn't figure out what it is that was bothering her, so I said, Mom, pull out everything you eat for the whole day. She's very structured. She's older. She wants a certain, like she wants to look a certain way. She eats kind of the same things every day. She eats the same thing for breakfast every day. So pull out all the food that you eat and let's muscle test it. We took the flax seeds. She was eating flax seeds in her oatmeal every day because they tell you to eat the flax seeds for the omegas. Took the flax seeds out of her diet. In 2 days, she did not have any more pain, and she hasn't had it back. Soy. We took out the estrogen in her diet, and the inflammation went away. She does this. She does push-ups. She can do more push-ups than me. That brat. She wants to do a push-up challenge, and I'm like, no, you're stronger than me. I won't do it. We took out the soy, and it changed everything. So flax, phytoestrogen, causes you to create more estrogen, tells your body, hey, we need more estrogen. That is the last thing we need as American society. Last. Okay, where are we at? Peanuts. Yes, sorry. Yeah. Flax oil was taken out, and that's really the only thing that's taken out. But it's classified in the soy, so I just want you to know my feelings on it. Yeah.
But it's in the method of how it's produced and percentages that you're taking. So most people, like what she said, are taking flax separate and then adding it to smoothies every morning.
Right.
That's too much.
Right.
Let's not do that.
Right.
It's an ingredient in a cracker. You're having so little of it.
Right.
That's not going to impact your
he is saying is that you can have a little bit of the flax if it's in the crackers, if it's in the Whole30 approved things, but don't be adding it to things. And flax is not a shelf-stable product, so as soon as they've made it into oil, it can go rancid really quickly. Flax meal goes rancid really quickly. The only way to ever eat flax is to have whole flax seeds and grind them yourselves. And that's the only way to ever do it if you're gonna do it. Or just eat them whole. And they don't break down at all. They're like chia seeds. They stay whole. They're an insoluble fiber. They'll stay big. They scrape your small intestine, large intestine. They do some good things. We just don't want to increase the estrogen. So keep that in mind. Peanuts. Peanuts are resistant to digestion. They contain lectins. And they can cross into the bloodstream and promote inflammation. They're in that same category with the legumes and the grains, all of that. So they're the same problems. They don't get digested. They're resistant to digestion. Anytime your body's not digesting something, it's going to create inflammation because your body wants to get it out. But it's not meant to have large particles in it. Okay, dairy. All dairy. The reason we take dairy out, well, there's lots of reasons. One of them is that lactose, which is a sugar in the milk, the sugar in the dairy, causes increase in our insulin levels. We already talked about insulin. We don't want those big blood sugar spikes. We're trying to regulate blood sugar. Also, the way we're getting dairy now, it's an incomplete food, so it robs your body of the things that it needs. Anybody know where the highest rate of osteoporosis is? In the United States? In the United States, what state has the highest rate of osteoporosis? Wisconsin. The cheese capital of the world. They just banned Kerrygold butter. It's $1,000 fine if you're caught selling Kerrygold butter in your store.
Do you like that better?
Yep. People are driving across state lines and smuggling it in. Okay? Highest rate of osteoporosis. The reason that is because the way we're eating, the way we're drinking and consuming dairy products now, there's too much of what was whole has been removed. And when you eat things that are not a whole product anymore, your body's expecting that. So say you're drinking something that's supposed to have a bioavailable amount of calcium. Having calcium on a label doesn't mean that that's what you're absorbing. It just means that that's what the scientists were able to pull out in the lab. If your body doesn't recognize the amount of calcium that it needs from the source, it will steal it. Guess where it's taking it from? Your bones, your eyes, your teeth. So then we get weak bones, we get osteoporosis, and what does the doctor tell you to do?
Drink more milk.
Drink more milk. Drink more milk. They're not drinking enough milk. Right? Put our little tiny children on milk because that's going to make their bones strong. No, it's not. That's why we see all these little kids in the hospital with broken bones because they're brittle. They're falling apart, people. Stop it. Give them some kale. It's got more calcium than a glass of milk. Okay. We also, another one of the reasons we take it out is because we're the only mammals that drink milk after being weaned. You ever see a adult cow go up to another cow and be like, "Hey man, can I get some milk?" Or woman, I don't know. It'd be really weird, right? We're the only mammals that do that. We're the only mammals that do a couple things. We're the only mammals that cross over to a different mammal's milk. And we're the only ones who do it after weaning. So after about that 2-year mark, there's no reason for us to have the milk. The milk, the cow's milk specifically, was meant to fatten a baby cow and give it the nutrients from the mom it needed in order for that baby to survive. We do that for our kids, and then we wean them, and then that's it, right? Not going to your mom and being like, "Hey mom, can I get some milk?" No, we don't do it. We're the only mammals that do. And the way we're getting it now, even the raw milk, unless you're getting it from a source that you know, this is raw milk, even those companies, they're better, but they're still missing things. They still don't have all the enzymes. What happens when you burn the milk is they take out something called lactase. It gets burned out of the milk. Lactase is the enzyme that eats the lactose. We're all lactose intolerant. None of us are meant to digest lactose. We're supposed to have lactase that eats the lactose, the enzyme that eats the lactose, and then we're supposed to get the calcium from the milk. We don't, because the milk isn't a whole product anymore. Make sense? So that's why we cut it out. It also causes inflammation. Okay, cheese, can cross-react with our body because it's incomplete. It also creates antibodies. Antibodies in your body turn against you. So if you have a bunch of antibodies, this is what autoimmune disease is. And autoimmune disease is an increase or too much antibodies, and they don't know what to do, so they start attacking their own tissue. Milk and milk products have a protein in them called casein. Casein, the chemical, the molecular structure of casein looks almost identical to gluten. So your body will create antibodies to it, and it will attack. If that casein happens to be on your digestive system, guess what's getting attacked? The digestive system. Then we get holes, then we get food in our bloodstream, then we get the doctor that gives us the list of allergies, right? Here's the cycle. Now we're seeing it circle back. Full circle here. Okay, promotes inflammation, isn't digestible because it's incomplete, and it depletes your body of the nutrients that it has stored. So you come here, you take all the good stuff, right? You get the calcium, you get the magnesium, you get the zinc, you get the iron, and then you go eat a piece of bread, and that robs you of all of it. So what did you just do? You wasted $100 at Pia's store because you just flushed the zinc and the minerals and everything else out with the whole corn, right? Right? Okay, there's no point. And when you finish the Whole30, when you get back to being, like whole, like all these things are good, your body's healed, your body's sealed up, eat the 22-year-old cheese and feel good about it because you're doing something good and you're feeling good, and it's okay because at that point you've healed and you're not getting this like loss of problem, but you're doing all the good things, your body's feeling really good, and you eat the things that you enjoy because they're clean, because they're healthy, because you're getting satisfaction from it, right? I mean, that's part of the whole process. You want to be happy, satisfied, never feel deprived, all of that. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. I promise you I'm not. Okay, the reason we took out the seed oils, peanut, soybean, corn, canola, safflower, sunflower, sesame, flax, and grapeseed is because of the balance between the omega-6s and the omega-3s. So you've heard lots and lots of times you need omega-6 and you need omega-3. The problem is you have to have a balance between the two. If you have too much of one, it creates inflammation. So we balance them out, and by cutting out those seed oils, you naturally get the balance that you need. So we're not overdosing on one versus the other. So we're keeping that balance that we need to have. So we don't want that extra omega-6, which causes the inflammation. Make sense? Cool. All right. So now I've told you everything you can't have. Do you hate me? I asked my students, right? You're still here. You didn't walk out, slam the door. She just got a new glass, like slam the glass, right? I asked my students, one of the questions I do on my first day, I teach a couple different psych classes, and the first thing I do is I do like a get to know you fun little like icebreaker, right? And what I do is I say play kind of like a would you rather type game. So would you rather be able to go back in time or go into the future? And they separate into sides of the room and they talk about it. And one of the ones that I ask is, would you rather be able to fly or read minds? And I get a good mix of both people. And then I have to pick a side, and I tell them, I would never want to be able to read your minds, because what I do for a living is, A, I tell you how bad or good you're doing in a statistics class, and B, I tell you what foods you can't eat. I don't want to know what you're thinking. You're probably like, I hate this girl. I'm not storming out of here right now because I don't want to seem rude. I don't want to know what you're thinking. Unless it's like, she's so awesome, and then I'll take it anytime. Okay, so what's on my plate? What am I going to eat if I'm not eating all these other things? Well, in my mind, super simple. You eat almost everything here. We have awesome Whole30 approved meals that are in the freezer. You just come pick one of these up if you can't think of what to eat. We have boxed lunches every single day. We have soup every single day. Those are all Whole30 approved. Boom, you've got your out to eat, your easy meal, right? Otherwise, what I like to tell people is you shop the perimeter of the grocery store. There's nothing in the middle aisles that you need. The perimeter of the grocery store will get it all for you. All the meat that you want. Eggs, vegetables, fruit, what's in season. It's awesome time to do a Whole30 because all the fruit is coming back. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There are berries in my fridge right now, and I've been eating a carton of blueberries every single night because I love blueberries, and they're the lowest glycemic index fruit. They do not spike your blood sugar. You can eat an entire carton of blueberries and not feel bad about it. I love it. I do it every day in the summer, never in the winter. Okay, so what's on my plate? Vegetables and fruit. I like to do a rule that 70% of my plate is vegetables and fruit, like that form of carbohydrates. So sweet potato, broccoli, kale, spinach, greens, whatever you want. Tonight I made soup. Carrie and I had so good, right?
Stop eating it.
I know. It had spinach, it had kale, it had carrots, celery, onions, bacon. I love bacon so much. Bacon, salt, pepper, I think I already said garlic, and then I just threw a whole piece of lamb in it, and it broke it up, like after cooking for a while, it broke it up, threw pieces of bacon there, and a whole, lamb leg, just threw it in, and that was dinner. That was, the best thing ever. So 70% of my food is vegetables, fruit. The other portion of my plate, about 25-30% of my plate is protein. That my protein always comes from an animal source, so any type of meat, eggs, bacon, whatever it is, and then a fat. And if I'm doing vegetables, I typically pour the fat over the vegetables, and that fat is like avocado oil. I almost just said canola oil. Oh my god. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. I only bake with coconut oil if I'm doing savory. For me, I have a very sensitive palate, and I like coconut oil with sweet, not savory. So if I'm doing savory, I use duck fat or pork lard or bacon fat or ghee. The ghees we have here, I use the garlic ghee as when I'm doing anything. Is that right? Savory, yeah. Garlic ghee anytime I'm doing something savory, and I put the vanilla bean ghee on my coffee. Actually, the other day I made a sweet potato and put vanilla bean ghee and cinnamon all over it. Oh, life-changing. Life-changing. Absolutely incredible. Not that I ever put anything sweet on my sweet potato before, but it was so good. Okay, so you've got seafood, beef, lamb, eggs, poultry, pork, bacon. Bacon. You can have bacon, right? Just make sure it's Whole30 approved. There's lots of bacon that they put sugar on. That's typical to cure bacon with sugar. There's a lot of good bacon that's Peterson's bacon, P-E-D-E-R-S-O-N's. They have a Whole30 stamp right on it, so that makes it easy for you. There's another company that just recently came out. It's called Garrett's, and they're also Whole30 approved. And then I like to go up to Marietta Hot Springs. There's a butcher shop. It's called the Naughty Pig. Oh yeah. And they'll make your bacon for you with all salt. You just got to call about a week in advance. I order 10 pounds at a time because I keep it in my freezer. It's $10 a pound. It's considerably cheaper than what you get in the grocery store. It's local, grass-fed, grass-finished. Well, whatever pigs eat. And they're so great.
They're so nice.
They're so great. The owner is Daniel. He's so nice. Go in, ask him, hey, Charissa sent me, I'm ordering my salt bacon, and get as much as you want. But they'll even individually package it for you because I only keep 1 pound out at a time, and I keep the other pound, 1 pound, they package it in 1 pound packs for me, and I keep it in the freezer. For me, I feel like you're not deprived if you get to eat bacon, right? Question, sorry? The Naughty Pig, yeah. Yeah. They don't just have bacon, they have everything.
So the one that's on the corner of your going, is it on the north side? Another one that's catty corner between, what is it, Washington and
Yeah,
Hathaway? Or
yeah.
the one that's by there?
No,
the farmer's
back
market,
over,
the one
yeah.
that's over.
It's closer to Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm going, I usually go after my kids go to gymnastics, they're on Jefferson, so I go up Jefferson, turn right on Marietta Hot Springs, and it's right there.
It's directly across from Walmart.
Yeah, it's directly across from Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Tell them I sent you. Okay, the fats that you'd use to cook with, we use animal fats. I like to make my bacon and then I save the bacon grease and I use that. Clarified butter or ghee, which we carry here. I also make my own sometimes if I'm feeling up to it. Coconut oil and olive oil and avocado oil. You can eat fats. You need to be consuming 4 to 6 tablespoons of fat a day. So you can be eating that fat, you can put it on the side of your plate. I told my kid's doctor, this is so great, I took my daughter in for her checkup, and she was like, what is she eating? And I was like, well, this morning she had paleo pancakes with Enjoy Life dairy-free chocolate chips and a pad of butter. She was like, what? And I said, yeah, I take a stick and like I take my knife into the butter and put 2 tablespoons of butter right on her plate. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, she needs the fat.
Yeah.
She feels better. She's like fueling her brain. Of course I'm going to give my kids fat. And it's so good for them. Like the high quality, so awesome. And the look, I should have taken a picture. This is the look your doctor will give you when you tell your doctor you're giving your kids fat and you don't feed them dairy. Here it is, people. Here, so you know. And she's like good. She's like she advocates for the paleo diet too. So I was surprised that she even, I don't know, she's still a doctor, I guess. Okay, also nuts and seeds. So I like to make myself like I go get these nuts that Pia has, the sprouted seeds, and I'll make myself like a little trail mix, and I'll keep that with me kind of all the time. The whole30, there's 2 sides of the whole30. There's the ingredients, and then there's the spirit of whole30. The ingredients are what I just told you, so the fruit, vegetables, protein, the good high quality fats, and nuts and seeds. But the spirit of whole30 says we don't snack, we don't sit, even though there's a couple of crackers that are whole30, but you don't sit on the couch and eat a package of crackers, right? You use them with whatever it is. Actually, did they take crackers out? No. Okay. They just came out, Melissa Hartwig, the person who started the Whole30, just came out and said no more store-bought chips. So there's a couple of, like you used to be able to do plantain chips or cassava chips. They just said no more. And the reason behind that is I think people take advantage of the fact that you can do it and you go and you buy a bag of chips and you sit down on the couch and you eat the bag of chips. The point of the Whole30 is to change everything, right? Not just what you're eating, but how you're eating it. What I do, what makes my life successful for the way I eat, because I used to be like that, I used to snack every 2 hours, hypoglycemic, I needed something all the time. So I changed from eating like a meal, a snack, a meal, a snack, a meal, a snack, to 4 meals a day. So what I do is when I get up in the morning, I eat. My rule, and what I tell my clients is you got to eat within an hour of waking up. Your body, if you don't start eating food, your body starts to produce adrenaline, and that's what you're running on. So if you tell me, I never eat breakfast, I feel great until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't need it, I just drink a cup of coffee, what you're doing is your body's running on adrenaline, you're taxing your adrenal glands, and it will catch up with you, I promise. What we want to do is we want to switch your body to burning glucose, burning calories all day long, not living on adrenaline. So eat within an hour of waking up. I eat my lunch around noon, so I eat like breakfast around 8, lunch around noon, and then I eat a second lunch at 3. Like, this is what saves me. Seriously, if I don't eat my 3 o'clock lunch, by 6 o'clock when I'm making dinner, I am what my children like to call momster. Momster. Momster's coming out. Mom, you better go eat a date because I don't know what's about to happen and it's terrifying. Momster comes out if I don't get my 3 o'clock meal. So 3 o'clock is my second lunch, and then I eat dinner with my family at 6:30, 7 o'clock. And those are my meals throughout the day. And I don't do any snacking in between anymore because I don't need to. I'm pretty satisfied with that. If I do feel the need to have a snack, we have great crackers. You can do the RX bars. You can do a Chomps bar. I like apples and almond butter. Those are really, that's a good snack. And we can talk about that too. You can eat all the herbs and spices that you want. My caution on that is check the blends. If you have a bunch of blends in your pantry, especially McCormick, they're famous for putting corn, maltodextrin. It's to keep it from clumping. There's a purpose. It's just not one that I care to buy into. Pia's spices that she has here are unbelievable. All the spices are Whole30 approved, and they're amazing blends. You don't have to eat the same thing every single night. What I like to recommend to people is buy something new every week. Come in, buy 1 new spice a week, try 1 new thing with the foods, and that way you're building your pantry up of some good stuff, but you're not doing like 1 day of like, oh my gosh, I just spent $700 on spices, right? Not that it could add up that much, but just as an example, I don't know. So spices and herbs, right?
What's the name you said the corn is in McCormick?
McCormick, yeah.
But what's the...
Oh, maltodextrin.
Okay.
Yeah, maltodextrin is corn. Most likely, if you can't pronounce the word, it's corn or sugar. They'll hide it, and they've come up with sneaky words to hide it. So if you can't say the word, maltodextrin. Always in garlic salt. Always in garlic salt.
So you're going, you're buying
watch out for the blends, specifically the blends. Like if the ingredient says salt and the back says salt, you're good. If it's pepper and it says pepper, you're good. If it's garlic and it says garlic, you're good. Don't buy anything that has a bunch of words in it. Buy our spices here, make your own blends, or buy them separate. The other point I was going to make, she says they're innocuous things you wouldn't even think about. I had a client a couple months back, a couple whole30s back, and she called me and she said, you know what, it's so crazy, I don't feel good, I don't know what's wrong, I'm bloated, my stomach hurts, something like I ate something, the only thing I had today after my lunch, which I felt fine, was a handful of almonds. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then the next day she calls me again, she's like, oh man, I feel so sick, I had that handful of almonds. And I said, go get the almond package, tell me what's in the back. Tell me what it says. It had corn. They coated the almonds in corn. It was a bag of almonds. She didn't know she was eating corn. She got so messed up. Her stomach was bloated. It was horribly super, super painful. You know when your stomach gets all hard and bloated, it pushes on everything. Your joints hurt, your hips hurt, your belly hurts, everything hurts. Don't do it. Watch for the ingredients. Really, really be careful. If you can't pronounce it, it's corn or sugar. Like, guaranteed. Yeah.
One more thing
Yeah.
is, the new thing now, which is shocking to me, is even in tea bags.
Yeah.
Soy.
It's in soy. Okay, the soy lecithin is in the tea bags. It's in even the ones that I thought were super good. I was like, I would drink this tea, get this gnarly headache. Soy gives me a headache immediately. I can't even have a little bit of it anymore. If I do it, I get super messed up, I think, because I got so sensitive to it. It's in the tea bags. They use it. Soy lecithin is a thickening agent. It's a binder, so it'll keep things together. They have a reason for why they're doing it. Just don't buy into it. Sunflower lecithin is okay. Yeah.
Soy lecithin as an ingredient in teas. These are like not cheap teas.
No, soy happens to fall under the 9 most allergen things in the United States, and there's a list of them. So there's gluten, dairy, soy, and a couple of others. Tree nuts, any peanuts, coconuts, eggs. They have to say it as an allergen warning. So on the back of the package, you'll see if you read through it and it doesn't say anything specific, read the allergen warning, because it'll say may contain traces of peanuts, corn, it'll say soy, dairy, wheat, whatever. Chances are, even though it says may contain traces of, one of those nasty ingredients that you couldn't pronounce was that soy.
I already know I have a problem with soy
Right.
and almonds and
Right.
peanuts, and I don't eat those.
Right, perfect,
anyway.
perfect. So you're already accustomed to reading them, so it's really good. Just get in the habit of doing that. Okay, herbs and spices, beverages. You can have coffee, you can have coconut water, but in moderation. And I don't want coconut water to be a substitute for water for you. Coconut water is naturally high in sugar, so just watch that. Like if it's like, oh, I'm having a lunch with my girlfriends and I want a coconut water, awesome, super good, super high in electrolytes. It's a good refresher, but don't use it as a substitute for water. Kombucha, mineral and sparkling water, still water, tea of all varieties, and vegetable juice. And those are your drinks. So no fruit juice, no, they don't want you to do smoothies, anything like that, because it's just too much sugar too fast. Eat those things. If you want a piece of fruit, eat a piece of fruit. Vegetable juices are okay. And all the reason that these are out is because, again, that blood sugar regulation. We just don't want you to have high spikes in blood sugar without following it up with something else.
But water's on there.
Water's awesome, yeah. Water is awesome. Okay,
Well, again, alkaline water is important.
yeah, the source of the water is important. Yeah,
Then you talk about the alkaline, right? The alkaline.
I'm glad you asked that. Alkaline water is good for detoxification, not good to be drunk all day long. So alkaline water, if you drink it with your meals, can actually destroy your digestive system. The reason that is because our stomach has to be at a pH level of 2, an acid, so it's got to be really acidic in order to break down the food. Alkaline water is that high pH, right? And water, just water itself, by law has to be neutral. It has to be 7. So as we go up that pH scale, as we're going up to like 11 or 9, whatever you're doing with like the Kangen water is 9, or you can do the 11. What that does is it neutralizes your stomach acid. If your stomach acid is neutral and you're eating food, you can't break down the food, then you end up getting acid reflux. What your body will do is it'll create too much acid, and it'll push that stuff into your digestive system whole. It doesn't break down the food particles, it pushes into your body. So you can do the alkaline water. I tell people if you want to get up in the morning, drink a nice big glass of alkaline water, or do it right before you go to bed, those are fine. Never ever with a meal. It's not something you should be drinking all day long. It's like 1-2 glasses, 16, 20 ounces in the morning or at night. Very far away from meals. Okay? Never with a meal. I try to tell people that and they're like, what? Like, no, you don't want to neutralize your pH. So for me, I drink, for breakfast I have a cup of green tea. For lunch I'll sometimes do iced tea or kombucha. For dinner I don't drink water or anything with my meals. And you can have a glass of water, just don't chug a bunch of water. You know, like if you're eating something that's making you want to chug water, there's probably something wrong with the food, right? Too much salt or too much whatever, too dry. Like just 15 minutes before, 1 hour after. A little sip here and there is not going to hurt you. People tell me, but I take supplements and I need to take my supplements before I eat my meals. Like, that's okay. Don't just chug a gallon of water and then try to eat. Like, it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. You're going to get the acid reflux. You're going to get the indigestion. You're going to get the upset stomach. You're going to get all the lower GI problems because the food isn't breaking down. Okay. Any questions? How are you guys doing? Should do a check-in, right? Feeling okay? Yeah.
What about the thing how people at the gym go to say everything in moderation?
Well, I think the point and the start and the reason that got started, it was with good intention. We came off of a generation that was finish everything on your plate, right? My mom came from a household where it was finish everything on your plate or would beat you. You're going to get abused, right? Like if you don't eat, you finish your plate. So then we have that coupled with the fact that Americans in general, we just overeat. So we put all the food on our plate, and we've been taught and conditioned and abused to the point where we finish everything on our plate. So then the gym owners and the people who wanted to start the health process, they say, you can have the ice cream, you can have the cookies, you can have the this, but just do it in moderation. The problem is, our brain doesn't understand that. When you eat an Oreo, your body says like, hey, that felt good, do it again. And you say, okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm not satisfied yet, I'm not full, I'm not content, and there's all kinds of hormones that are in play at that. They're not going to make you feel full. They're not going to make you feel good because it's not satisfying what your brain actually needs. You're thinking, I want sugar, what your brain actually wants is fat. When your body used to crave sugar, it was because you would climb up a tree and grab a peach. Now we go and we get a piece of chocolate cake. The thought behind it was everything in moderation so you can still eat all of these things. In reality, your brain doesn't understand that, and it says, I want another piece of cake. And now you're fighting your brain. You're fighting your own body. So this way of thinking, my way of thinking, the whole30 way of thinking is eat the things that your body needs in order to thrive. Eat the things in order to create cellular regeneration that's healthy, that's good, positive, good, healthy cells. Feel satisfied and feed your brain the things your brain needs. And cut out the things it doesn't. Every time you put something in your mouth, it's either taking you a step forward in health or taking you a step back in health. When you eat the piece of chocolate cake that's full of wheat and flour and dairy and sugar and crap and soy-laden eggs and, like all the bad stuff, you're taking a step backwards and your body's not feeling satisfied and your body's not getting the things that it needs. So is that really something you even want in moderation? No. So the things in moderation, have a paleo chocolate chip cookie and feel satisfied, don't eat the whole box. buy one of Pia's freaking amazing paleo ice cream sandwiches, cut it in half and share it with your partner, and feel satisfied that you took a step in the right direction of feeling good, feeling healthy, but you also got the sweet. You got the treat. Pia told me one time, a long time ago, think of things as treats and cheats. And a cheat is something like eating a piece of chocolate cake. And for me, I think, is it worth it to create the antibodies, to create the inflammation, to create the swelling, to create the pain for one bite of chocolate cake that probably isn't going to taste as bad, or is going to taste as good, right? You get the cake that looks super pretty at the birthday party, you take one bite of it and it tastes like crap because it's dry, it's nasty, whatever, and it's a cheat, and it's hurting your body, and it's taking you backwards in that cellular response. You come here, you get an ice cream sandwich, you get a chocolate RX bar. I had a girl come in here the other day and she said, save me from the mint chip Girl Scout cookies. And I said, here's the mint chip RX bar. Enjoy, here's your treat. You don't have to feel guilty. It's good for you, it's high quality, you're gonna feel good. Don't feel like you have to take things away, but do the right things.
Well, you just brought up eggs.
Eggs, what about them?
So eggs are okay?
Eggs are awesome.
Okay, but what about the soy eggs? What are soy eggs?
The chickens eat the soy, and then we eat the soy, and then we feel like crap.
So how do you know you're not getting soy eggs?
Get them from a farm. You gotta ask.
That's true. There are like 6 different ones in the grocery store.
There are ones in the grocery store that say soy free. Chickens are not vegetarians. If it says vegetarian fed, that's not appropriate. Chickens are not vegetarians. Chickens eat bugs, chickens eat parasites, chickens eat plants.
So would that be the cage free then?
Do your research. Not necessarily. Cage free.
I need a lot of eggs. I need this answer.
I know we do.
Okay, so here's what I do. I go through. Okay, I go to the farmer's market. They have eggs that are awesome. I actually order my organic produce from a company called Harvest to You. Have you heard of them before? Okay, awesome. They sell eggs. To my door every Tuesday I get 2 dozen eggs and a box full of organic vegetables. I pay, I think, $60 a month, $60 a week for a box of organic produce and my 2 eggs.
So how do you know what's in those eggs?
You ask. They're from the farm. They're outdoor chickens that are eating their diet. They're beyond organic. They don't get a chicken feed. They eat the things they're supposed to eat. They live on a symbiotic farm. Pasture raised. Yeah.
That's not always the case.
Cage free means that there's an opening to the door in the chicken coop. That's what cage free means. That's all it means.
Right.
They feed them. They still feed them a
Already
mix
good
of
at
corn
things.
and soy. Organic is an organic corn and soy. Organic free range chickens have an extra square foot in their pen. 4 chickens to 4 square feet. That's what cage free means. That's what free range means. You have to do your research. You got to look it up. You got to say, what does this company feed their chickens? What does the farm look like? I don't. I buy local, I support local, and call them. The people that you call, you get these people on the phone, I call them like all the time, I called them before I started and I said, what is your farm like? Where are you getting your chickens from? Where are you getting your eggs from? Where's the produce coming from? How long did it take from the time that you pulled it out of the ground to the time it got to my house? Harvest to you, the time from the ground to the time to your house, 4 hours. That's how long it's been out of the ground for. 4 hours. They are beyond organic farmers here in Temecula. I'm a huge, huge supporter of Harvest to You. They get their chickens, they get their eggs. Everything is so, so, so good. They do what they're supposed to do. The farmers markets, they sell eggs every week. I have a friend of mine who owns who does a nonprofit for, it's a sanctuary farm. Jen.
Yeah.
She sells eggs, $5.99 a dozen.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Amazing.
Yes.
So there's people who have chickens who sell their eggs. Ask them what they're feeding them. I eat a ton of eggs too. I eat 2 eggs every day for breakfast. Yeah. My kids eat an egg for breakfast and they eat hard-boiled eggs. They've got to be high quality. I'm not going to put crap in. So it's really, really, like, that's super important to me. I'm glad you asked the question.
Hard-boiled eggs, 2 hard-boiled eggs, a slice of quarter of
Yeah.
or fireside or vinegar.
Yes. There you go.
That's an old Polish thing.
My breakfast every day, 2 eggs, over easy, 2 pieces of bacon, and a side of fruit. Sometimes avocado. And I pour some fat over it. Because why not? You need it. I also put fat in my tea. I need it. I need the fat. It helps my brain. It makes me feel good. All right, so after a whole30, what you do after a whole30 is you do what's called the reintroductions. When you work with me, I work you through this process. It's not something that's scary. You don't just go right back to the standard American diet. The worst thing you can do to me and hurt my spirit is after your 30 days is up, you go binge on whatever crappy food you started with in the first place. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. You will pay. It will hurt. And you will call me and you will say, I did this and now I'm in pain. Don't do it. Don't do it. We'll work through that process as we get there. When you do a whole30, you've changed your relationship with food. You've changed your lifestyle. You can't ever go back. You've learned so many things about yourself, how you operate, how much better you feel, how much better you sleep, how the headaches go away, and everything is better. You won't go back. So that's what you do after a whole30. You eat clean, you shop here, you talk to me, I help you through the whole process. Okay, so that is how you do a whole30. 30 days, clean foods, you know what not to eat, you know what to eat. You can do this on your own. You could. I'm also a nutritionist. I'd love to help you through the process. What I offer after I do this orientation, you're perfectly capable of doing it on your own, and I feel you could. But if you don't want to do it, you can have me as your support. What I offer, it's $200 for a membership to do the whole30 with me. Tonight when I get home, I send you the packet. The packet gives you the grocery shopping list, the pantry list, the do's and the don'ts, the restaurant guide, the food pyramid. You get 2 individual visits with me. Sit down with me, talk to me about why you're doing this. You get 1 in the beginning. This is what I like to do. I like to do 1 in the beginning and 1 in the end to tell you, like, this is what you do next. And we do a potluck at the end. So come tomorrow night is actually our potluck. You guys are all welcome to come see what a whole30 potluck looks like. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, everybody brings a whole30 approved dish. We share with each other the recipes, the experience. If you want to come tomorrow night, you're perfectly welcome. It's right here, same time. There's other people who are coming who've just gone through it. They finished today, was their last day. When you do a whole30, you start on the 1st, you end on the 30th. So our whole30 starts April 1, it starts on Saturday. Yeah.
Can you never drink alcohol again?
I drink tequila. I drink tequila. And wine.
I hate tequila.
Yeah. I drink tequila. I don't drink red wine. I drink white wine, Chardonnay, like a little bit every now and then.
Okay, good, so it can come back.
It can come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Want
I
my
also
red wine?
point
Yeah.
out-
I know.
It absolutely can come back. So with the membership for me, you get like I said, $200. You get access to the private Facebook group where I post recipes regularly, not every day. I post what I'm eating. There's a community already of people who've gone through my whole30 with me. You post on the page, hey, this is what's going on. They post, they respond. It's a really helpful, super amazing community. You get the meal planning guide. You get the recipes. You get the you get to share the experience. You get to be with the group. You get to have each other. You get to have me, and you get the 2 private sessions with me. So that is the $200 what you get for that. You also get to come back and do a whole30 with me anytime you want. If you fall off the wagon in 6 months from now and you're like, oh man, I need Sharissa again, come back and do it again. You don't have to pay. You're just part of my group. Once you're in forever. Lifetime membership. And the amazing thing with Carrie, she's offering, like I said, that $75 for the month. Whole mindset, whole body, change everything, go all in.
And then you won't need the wine afterwards.
And then you won't need it. I don't know, I still enjoy the wine,
I don't
right?
know.
I don't know, I still
You
enjoy it.
silly girl.
Right?
But
But what I want to tell you, my warning for this, if you're really, really serious about it, I want to help you. I will do everything to make sure you succeed. If you're not ready yet, do it another time.
I look at my calendar.
Yeah.
When is a good time? I mean, because
It's never a good
I'm
time.
going off
Now,
next
when you
week,
get those things
and then after that,
It's never a good
day,
time.
I have lunch or something.
No, we won't
It's
do
never a
April,
good
we'll
time.
do May.
Have you, yeah, but I don't want to keep postponing.
I know, we'll
It's
just do
every
May.
month is something.
We'll just do May.
It's never a good time.
I can't do
And
April.
and I will
cares?
help you figure out the right things to eat at the restaurant. If you're traveling, I'll help you pack the things that you need in order to get you to where you need to go. I'll help make sure that your pantry is clean, give you the pantry list. There's never going to be a good time. There's always going to be a wedding or a this or a that or a service of some kind that you got to go to. Let me help you find the solutions to the problems. Don't postpone it. Don't take one more minute living this life. No, because I can help you right now. And in May, on May 1st, you can call me and say, Sharissa, I've never felt better in my entire life. Thank you for pushing me to do this now.
I totally agree because we're really promoting Clean Eating 365, which is I don't get on and off. Right?
No,
I
you
might
eat
decide,
clean forever.
You know, maybe I'll have a glass of wine tonight. Maybe. But, and it was every night I was having a glass of wine before I did it. Okay? And so there is something, and they talk about this too, food freedom, that you're able to make these choices and not feel like, oh, well, I missed out on this or whatever. But making better choices for yourself, like what she was saying with like, oh, you can have this treat versus that treat, right? But it's whatever it is that's going on in your mind that's, oh, why can't I start? It's probably just one thing, and you can prepare for it. That's
Exactly. Just we gotta use me as your support for the one thing. If it's a wedding, awesome. I will tell you how to go around it. All the time that I get invited to weddings and it's a preset menu, I call and I say I can't have these things. Can you give me a salad with some olive oil and vinegar with some some chicken? And they do it. They don't care. They're doing it for everybody else all the time. When you go to the restaurant, I'll tell you what to order at the restaurants. You can make good choices anywhere you are. I have people who do the Whole30 who just travel. Their entire job is traveling, and they do just fine. Look at Melissa Hartwig, who started this whole thing. She's traveling all over the world telling people about Whole30, and she eats perfect. How does she do it on traveling around all the place? I'll give you the tips. I'll give you the tricks. I'll help you through the process. There's never going to be a good time to change your lifestyle. Don't wait even one more minute to do it. Because how sad would it be if in 2 weeks from now you're dealing with whatever flu came through and you could have been healthy, you could have been perfect, you could have been clean, you could have been taking the right steps to make your life so much better. So that's my advice. But if you're not ready, I'm here for you. We do this the last Thursday of every month, and I'd be happy to go through the whole thing over with you again. That's what I'm here for. My passion is making sure we don't have sick people anymore. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep living it whether you want to do it with me or not. Right? All right, you guys, I really hope that you're ready for this. Come talk to me, ask me any questions, and let me know what I can do for you. I'll see you guys